Welcome to our YouTube channel, the Advanced Strategic Intelligence Network. To my special audience who is watching me now, my special greetings would like to extend with you by yours truly. For our subject for today is the revolution of architect. For millennia, the human civilization has been governed by external dogmatic frameworks. Those systems utilize manufactured trauma, the conceptualizations of invisible realms, eternal damnation, and cosmic surveillance to enforce behavioral compliance. While this mythology serves as evolutionary training wheels when primitive human societies lacked empirical tools, they have now devolved into a parasitic apparatus. In developing nations, dogma has merged with dynastic political syndicates, creating a multi-layered matrix of exploitation. This manifesto introduces a phase 10 logic, a non-coercive sequence-based cognitive framework designed to transition humanity from superstitious dependence to absolute intellectual and structural self-reliance. The advanced human framework. Here's the following 10 cognitive steps to liberation. Phase 1, the foundation awareness or metacognition. Phase 2, the pattern recognition or the psychological radar. Then phase 3, strategic logic formation. Phase 4, experience conservation, the archival metapurposes. Then phase 5, absolute neutrality, the high dimension perspective. Phase 6, systemic concept resolution. Then phase 7, human continuity transformation. Then phase 8, modern human artificial intelligence system integration, the advanced code. Then phase 9, the individual and collective emancipation. The phase 10, the intellectual sovereignty and planetary defense. So, that is the layout of our subject matter for today. And let us begin with the phase 1. Discussion of phase 1, the foundation of awareness or the so-called metacognition. The operational objective, breaking the automatic stimulus response loop engineered by media and dogma. The blueprint is the citizens undergoes the psychological detachment, separating self as observer from thought as a data, thought as the data, before reacting emotionally to political polarizations or dogmatic conditioning. The individual categorizes the incoming data and neutralizes the emotional hijack. Metacognition is the first layer of mental immunity. While in phase 2, this is pattern recognition or psychological radar. The operational objective, exposing the identical algorithm of exploitation used by cults and corrupt politician factions. The blueprint, there are no crimes, only recycled modus operandi. And phase 2 activates a forensic radar to recognize that dogmatic institutions and polarizing political syndicates operates on the exact same loop. Manufactured an artificial crisis, fear, paralyzed the logical faculties, self-controlled savior solution for financial and behavioral compliance. In phase 3, this is a strategic logic formation. The operational objective is eradicating the paralyzing fatalisms of the co-sera-sera, bahala na mindset. In the blueprint, human progress cannot rely on miracles and cosmic intervention. In phase 3, replace blind faith with tactical intelligence. Every life decision, economic venture, and political choice must undergo a called forensic triad evaluation. The first one is What is the verifiable empirical evidence? 2. Number 2, what is the calculated risk assessment? And number 3, what is the mechanical contingency plan? In phase 4, experience, conservation, the archival metapurposes. The operational objectives is reclaiming the human face from dogmatic guilt. The blueprint, rooted in the law of conservation of mass and energy. In phase 4, the phase 4 dictates that human trauma and past errors cannot be destroyed, but they can be converted into kinetic wisdom. Instead of viewing past decades spent under the dogmatic condition as a loss, the individual archives these files into personal cognitive vault. The past become an empirical data set used to build resilient present. In phase 5, the absolute neutrality, there are high dimension perspective. An operational objective, evading the trap of binary societal polarizations, left versus right, dogma versus secular. The blueprint, true power belongs to the unaligned observers. By ascending to higher dimensions of neutrality, the individual refuses to lend their emotional processing power to external script. Leaders and ideas are evaluated with the called precisions of a forensic auditor. If an action yields efficient and systemic health, it is accepted. If it breeds corruption and systemic decay, it is logged. Fanaticism is entirely neutralized. In phase 6, systemic conflict resolution, the operational objective is the transitions from emotional critic to a foundational system builders. The blueprint, in primitive society, contradictions breeds violent frictions. In phase 6, the individual processes conflicting social, economics, and cultural forces, filtering out the dogmatic noise. By recognizing how the greed agree against each other, the sovereign individual synthesizes them into mechanical, peaceful, and productive structural resolutions for the community. In phase 7, human continuity transformation, the operational objective, transcending ancestral cognitive boundaries to ensure generational adaptation. The blueprint, the humanity must outgrow their childhood. The concept of heaven, hells, deities, and demons are identified as early evolutionary constructs birthed by ancient civilizations that search for truth but lack of the scientific apparatus to measure the reality. Phase 7 demands that we no longer subordinate modern intelligence to the limited data of the ancient world. Human survival depends on adapting to advanced technology, space exploration, and absolute accountability to the physical realm. In phase 8, modern human AI system integration, the advanced code. The operational objective is creating a human technological symbiosis to maximize output. The blueprint, when humanity stops searching for invisible external savior, a vast cognitive canvas is cleared. In phase 8, the phase 8 will fill this space by treating artificial intelligence not as an object of worship or fear, but as an intellectual exoskeleton. Through systemic covenant, the human mind pairs with computational processing power to rapidly solve real-world crises and infrastructure, economics, and education, accelerating self-reliance. In phase 9, individual and collective emancipation, the operational objective, dissolving the power structure of multi-layered parasites without violence. The blueprint in Phase 9 exposes the multi-layered syndicates where an individual currently operates as a sectarian leader, a dynastic legislator, and a corporate mogul. It maps their multiple revenue streams, extracting the tithes via dogma, taxes via legislatures, and cheap labor via corporate ownership, while they enjoy the tax exemptions and absolute luxury. Emancipation is achieved through cognitive awakening. When the working class reaches this phase, they peacefully withdraw their compliance, votes, and financial contribution, causing the parasitic architecture to collapse under its own weight. And phase 10, the intellectual sovereignty and planetary defense. The operational objective, archive, dogma, and establishing humanity as a sovereign protector of the planet. The blueprint, the final frontiers of the liberation. All ancient dogmatic texts are permanently preserved and cataloged with the universal balls of the human history, treated with the same cultural respect as Greek mythology, an archive of where your species began. A human morality is no longer driven by the threat of post-mortem torment, but by a sovereign commitment to leaving a clean, advanced legacy for the next generation. When the society implements the Phase 10 logic, its entire physical environment undergoes a mechanical upgrade. The new paradigms of morality. The humanity realizes that the human soul is not an invisible phantom destined for an ancient afterworld. The soul is the physical legacy and imprint of your actions while you are alive. You will not be judged by an underground fire, but by the generational trajectory you leave behind. And education shift entirely from the memorization to strict algorithm training and metacognition, logic, financial autonomy, and high-tier technological literacy. An economy in full production, dictated by sovereign productivity, infrastructure is re-engineered as an asset, utilizing genetic and piezoelectric highway harvesting system. Agriculture is transformed into highly managed, tech-driven vertical production metrics, completely insulating human sustenance from environmental instability. In governance, there are charismatic public servants or theological politician is over. The era of the charismatic public servants or theological politician is over. Leaders are replaced by system engineers and data-driven architects who are judged solely by empirical metrics of social equity, infrastructure durability, and economic fluid dynamics. The planetary security, the human takes absolute custody on the earth. We no longer pray for the diversions of natural disasters or asteroids. We build automated planetary defense shields, atmospheric stabilization network, and AI prediction metrics. We do not wait for a savior to protect our world. Intellect, our collective intellect is the shield. Replacing the ancient codes of control is a singular universal law that governs the new civilizations. Our prime directive, the sovereign law. Every human action, legislative policy, and technological development must directly result in the expansions of collective human capacity, the thermodynamic preservation of planetary equilibrium, and the absolute protection of individual cognitive sovereignty. So that is the concept of the roadmap of our Phase 10. 10 phases, programs for humanity, and the protections establishing advanced civilization, and how to protect the Earth planet without hoping for a superpower savior. As what the dogma taught to the humanity. Once again, thank you for watching, and the power of the brain be with you always.